Get provided jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had what?
When you're ready, Ally, let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's why I was like.
Nicole, can you hear me?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Using you and that.
Hi,
I'm over here.
everyone. I see you, Chuck. Hello, guys. Hi, everyone.
All right, we're recording on YouTube. We're live and we will get started here. I call to order the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency meeting on November 17th, 2025 at 4:01 p.m. May I get a roll call, Ally, please?
Jenny Sullivan. Here. Nick Carmano.
Here.
Kevin Mahoney.
Here.
Jim Nolan.
Here.
Trisha Rogers. Here. John Tackle.
Here.
Tim Robinson.
Here.
Juan Gonzalez.
Here.
We have a quorum. We have 8 out of 10.
For the record, I'd like to.
And Brian
Brian
Campbell.
Campbell's here.
Look who's here. I know. I thought they sent you out of town.
All right, everybody's got the read ahead. Pages 3 to 6 of the read ahead is the minutes of the board meeting of October 20th. I'll entertain a motion to accept those. Jim, second. Tim, any discussions? Any omissions or abstains or all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Minutes are approved. All right, turn it over to the treasurer.
Can I introduce who?
Ashley, absolutely, thank you.
Okay, I'd also like to introduce Connor McCoy from MBT that's in the audience today. And online, we have Nicole Rodriguez.
You got the right name.
She is the Warren Washington IDA social media intern. She took over Alice Fox and she's currently a senior at Florida Central University or Central Florida University, right?
Yes, University of Central Florida. You almost got it.
Yeah, got the words. Would you like to say a few words to the members?
Yes. Well, like Ali said, my name is Nicole. I'm a senior at UCF, but previously I graduated from high school in Queensbury. I'm originally from Brazil, so I went to Queensbury for an exchange year and I fell in love with the area. And I decided to stay for my associates where I studied at SUNY Adirondack. And then after completing my associates, I came to UCF and I'm looking to going back to upstate New York after. So very nice to meet you all. I've been learning so much about this industry with Ali and Chuck, and I'm very happy to be here.
Good. Why did you screw up an Italian name?
So,
Is it because-
I have Italian citizenship too, so maybe that's it.
My name is Nick Caimano, so that's pretty close to
Yes.
Rome.
Yes.
What's the temperature in Florida?
It's like 75 maybe.
Yeah, that's two demerits.
Cut the TV off.
Wait,
Nice meeting you, Nicole. Yeah, a football team there,
Nice.
but.
Shut the TV off.
I can't hear you guys. I'm sorry.
-6.
we were talking about your football team.
Oh yeah, we don't have a very good football team for
All
school.
of us, they did.
Well, great. We look forward to you working together and look forward to your updates in the future on improving our social media. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's turn it over to treasurer.
Sure, you have in front of you a list of accounts payable that we're asking for approval to sign and issue the check. Happy to answer any questions, or Ally and I would be, on any of the payables totaling $140,475.67. As you can see, I'll just point out, some of our legal fees are reimbursable. up at the top that's getting paid to throw warrants. Quite a few of them. About 28. Anybody have any questions on the payable?
All right, with no questions, I'll entertain a motion to accept the payables. Nick, second. Jenny. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Jenny Sullivan. Yes. Nick Caimano.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Jim Nolan,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers. John Caplet,
Yes.
Tim Robinson,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Asked your boss in the hallway, said hello, you said you love you.
Great, we'll move to year-to-date financial reports, Treasurer.
Sure, I'll turn your attention to the balance sheet on page 7. You'll see that through the end of October, our cash position continues to be very strong at $2.6 million. And our liabilities are negligible, minor. We have some deferred pension costs and deferred inflows of resources that create long-term liabilities of about $189,000. All in all, we have a very strong, healthy balance sheet with lots of liquidity. Does answer any questions on that? After I'll go over the income statement, which year to date through October 25, which is on page 9. We brought in total revenue of $814,000. The majority of that, break it down for you. Lease income is about $290,000 of that. New project fees, $344,000. Interest earnings on our deposit balances of $68,000 and rail usage fee of $167,000. So for total revenues of 814, which is almost double last year, $300,000 over last year. And then as far as expenses go, we do have some $261,000 in operating expenses year to date, resulting in a net ordinary income of almost $600,000. These will get adjusted as we go through our year end based on accrual versus cash method of accounting. Happy to answer any questions there, but all in all, the agency is doing fine. Thanks to our leader, CEO and business administrator, we continue to get new opportunities and look to, optimize revenues wherever possible.
How many approved projects do we still have that have not closed?
We currently have an active 36 active right now. But when you say, I'm sorry,
We've approved that we haven't closed and received the application fees?
Two.
Two?
two.
Three.
We have, Wood Creek Holdings,
Oh, yes.
Chris Patton's project on, Glen,
On Washington Square.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then, Town Suites.
Will those be in this year? You think? No?
Well,
I know for sure on Patton and Town Suites, they want to push to 2026. Wood Creek, they were waiting on SBA approval, so I think that really delayed them with the shutdown. So I don't know where they are in that process.
I've spoken with him and he wanted to get a shovel in the ground this year. But now it's getting later in the season and the whole SBA process is holding up. So it seems like it's gonna fall. into
Yeah, I haven't heard
spring.
anything about, how that.
So our revenue for the year is pretty much our revenue for the
Yeah,
year.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
Correct.
with the exception. Lease income
Correct.
and the
And the
rail
rail.
usage.
They'll be
that will-
around.
Will that come in next year though?
Ally is quarterly, right?
The
With the rail. So we've gotten all 4 quarters in now, right? There's a lag factor.
Right, no, not yet, not everything.
Okay, so we have more to be booked.
Correct.
Pretty much this will kind of summarize where we're at with a little bit of expense. Normal operating expenses and a little bit more revenue.
Agreed.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, with no questions, I will entertain a motion to accept the year-to-date financial reports. Jim, second. Nick. Another roll call, Ally, please.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Jenny Sullivan.
Yes.
Nick Caimano,
Yes.
Kevin Maloney.
Yes.
Jim Nolan,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers. Yes. Tom Catholic,
Yes.
Tim Robbins.
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. With that, we'll move to reports of committees, and with our park chair not here, we will turn it over to Chuck to run through those.
Okay, there's a lot to report. I'm gonna start first talking about the water capacity expansion, and I'll tag team a little bit with Kara on this because there's a legal aspect. But in your board package, I'll bring your attention to the map plan report for water system that went out. We want to get it out early because there is a lot to it. Not expecting to go through everything, but just want to make you aware of this is the final water design that we will be submitting to the town for the water district election and in conjunction with the village of Fort Edward Water District. We are not taking any formal action on this tonight, and let me start to explain why. First, this map plan report has been finalized after being reviewed with all entities involved. The IDA board will need to formally approve this, but it requires an amended seeker. And seeker, by the way, is State Environmental Quality Review Act. And it's a process in which we, the IDA, will be lead agency like we had done before. We had done the seeker for the water and wastewater, but now the engineering has changed. We'll be doing an amended seeker before we can formalize this map plan report. Labella is preparing the seeker environmental impact review report and the environmental assessment form part 1 answers. We hope to have all this package completed for our December 15th board meeting for board approval. After that meeting, there'll be a 30-day public notice period, including affected agencies. And then the IDA board will complete the public seeker parts 2 and 3 at the January 19th meeting. Given the simple nature of this project, we are cautiously optimistic that we'll get what we call a negative declaration, meaning there's no major environmental impact of our project. And it makes sense because all these projects are frankly relatively simple. If we get this negative declaration, we will then seek final board approval on the map report. And then we would submit it to the town of Fort Edward for the legal formation of the out of village water district. Anything to add to that, Kara?
No, just that, we would do the seeker determination and then we would, we will share that with all the involved parties. But we'll also, authorize the submission of the petition, which is what commences the formation process of the town.
How do we get away with doing the seeker before the fact?
Well-
What do you mean before?
The seeker was required for funded, Fast New York. So we were able to get that going because it was,
State knows all about it.
Right.
yes.
And we did that about 2 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
About
Yeah,
2 years
really?
ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it goes fast.
Florida, you're leaving.
There is an extra note. Kara and I had a conference call with Labella on Thursday. We actually have the seeker process for 4 different subjects, one being the water map plan report, the other being water district formation. Then there's the sewer map plan report, and then there is the East Street entrance road widening. And we're going to try to do the seeker for all 4 at one time. And Kara has talked with the village and town, they're okay for it. I have had an informal discussion with Canal Corp, we're okay for it. So it's sort of a creative solution that came up from an expert at Labella that hopefully will streamline the process. Otherwise, there have to be 4 seekers that will have to be done. Various projects we're trying to do outside. So fingers crossed, we'll have more to report at the next meeting.
On the water district, is this like a fire district? It's just an area. You don't need a board of directors. You don't need,
Right.
it's just
the
a
area,
district.
the geographic area.
And so whoever owns that geographic area pays that bill.
Right, the infrastructure will be with the town. We'll have to do a series of agreements after the fact, so that it will be their water district.
And the district is actually, as you know, with the canal side, we have 2 lots, one in the village, one in the town. The district is actually the town lot. The village is already in the water district. So the new this new water district will be outside the village and our.
So it will be a separate district or
It's a separate district outside the village.
so they don't combine.
No, it's a one lot district.
And as a
One
result,
owner, one lot.
whoever buys the property will have to have two water bills. One for the village side and one for the town side, but there is no way we can escape that.
Unless they buy the village side, somebody else buys the town side.
Oh, no, they will, but it's still technically in the village and by the law, municipal law, you can't take a village portions already in the water district and add it to a new district because it's already in the district.
That doesn't cause a problem with the potential buyer.
A little bit of a pain in the derriere, but
Yes,
can be
and
worked
extra
out.
hope.
Yes, it's really, there's really no option.
Yeah.
Legally, this is the way we have to do it, but it's all manageable. We talked to the engineers and this is manageable. So I'll stop with that.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Okay, continuing on. Labella is engaging the railroad authorities regarding the East Street Railroad crossing next to the Fort Edward Amtrak station. Survey work has been completed and the engineering design at 60% completion is underway. And we just had correspondence today that the draft of the 60% completion is going to the railroad company, the railroad entity, and also will be going to the village of Fort Edward. So Labella is making nice progress on their detail engineering. And that's it for the water capacity expansion, unless there are any questions.
How quick is the railroad in responding?
They've been pretty good, actually.
They were horrible in Putnam, I remember. That's why I'm asking.
They've been pretty good. We wanted to get the survey work done and within a week we had them there. And it was just one day of the surveyors there being there for flagging the trains through as their surveyors were doing the work. And today we sent the 60% completion with a form and application, and they've indicated Labella they'll get back fairly quickly. So far, so good. To our surprise, quite honestly.
Brian, is it this the same people?
Yeah, as far as I know.
You're helping him with things that happen under the table and you could help him?
I don't think I can help. them.
No, not with the railroad.
We try not to do anything under. the
No,
table.
it was more of a
I don't mean
problem.
under the table.
I know.
It was,
Those are the answers before you're.
No, Labella's doing a great job. They do railroad crossings, so they're very experienced, and so they're
Okay.
guiding us through the process in a very
Yeah.
appropriate manner.
All right.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that can, sometimes you get it all engineered and still can't make it happen for a couple of years. That's a
Yeah.
problem. If they're
So,
working with you, that's important.
yeah, so far, so good.
Good.
Hopefully it will continue.
Good.
Okay, as far as the new wastewater system, as you know, we talked about connection to the Washington County Sewer District. IDA and Labella have targeted wastewater capacity of 100,000 gallons per day for commercial activity. This capacity can be achieved with a 6,000 feet connection along the Champlain Canal to the sewer treatment facility located south of Canal Side. However, as we market Canal Side to attract new business, we have encountered businesses that need only sanitary connection for employees and do not generate commercial wastewater. This scenario reduces the scope and cost of sewer connection. For example, a business with 100 employees requires only 1,500 gallons per day, as opposed to us looking for 100,000 gallons per day. So there's a huge difference. So since we are encountering lesser capacity scenarios, we are exploring a new, simpler option of a lower capacity connection via East Street. Now, there'll be more to come to that. That's just something that evolved within the past week. As far as on-site wastewater treatment options, Dan and I met with Labella on October 21st to review engineering design options and concur with the direction of their work. And finally, as far as any permitting wastewater, there will be permitting requirements of both the DEC and Canal Corp. But first, we have to settle on the option we're going to do and then move from there with DEC and Canal Corp. We are hoping to do a permit to Canal Corp sometime in 2026. That's it for wastewater, unless there are any questions. Moving on to the East Street back entrance, road widening that we need for the detour of during the construction of the 2026 main bridge replacement. Bob Holmes, our consulting engineer, has drafted concept drawings for widening Canal Corp Road from 1 to 2 lanes, and Dan Bruno has been working very closely with Bob. Labella has been retained to address the DEC wetland permitting, initial state historic preservation office or SHPO review, and the environmental assessment form for the seeker. Labella was able to schedule a DEC site visit in late October before winter conditions set in. Today, Bob, Dan, and I received Labella's wetland delineation report, and overall, Labella is working rapidly to deal with the regulatory issues for the road widening project. With all this going on, we're hoping to do another permit in the Canal Corp as early as next month, so we can then bid out the construction during the winter, and so the job can be done in early spring. So while we have a lot to be done, so far it's moving pretty well.
Are they gonna allow the road to go there for a second lane, or is that gonna have to be a bridge over that area?
It's an existing road, we're just widening the road, that's all. It's the road off of East Street, that one lane road
Okay, that road, okay,
off of East, and we're just.
not up the other way.
Correct, on
Okay.
the southern portion of the property.
Yep.
And Canal Corp is ecstatic because this road will help them, because you may be aware they're using the water for maintenance purposes, and this road will help with their maintenance.
As you know, it should go all the way to 197.
I know, we've had that conversation.
We have.
Let's
That's
not
a
go there.
disaster.
Okay, that's it for the road widening, unless there are any
Had to
questions.
get that last one in.
As far as canal site tenants, CHPE with Kiewit, site activity continues to diminish. According to Kiewit, a person with responsibility of the canal site activity, Kiewit is targeting to clear the site by the end of December. But their lease agreement will be through the end of March for financial purposes. Second, Berkshire Hathaway Blake Realty has a company who's seriously conducting due diligence on buying the site, and they are developing preliminary conceptual plans. A letter of intent to purchase site may be forthcoming before the end of this year. That's it for tenant updates. Anything else before we go on to the airport industrial park? Okay, there's 4 updates there. First, Ferguson Lane extension and new wetland rules. Steve George has submitted a jurisdictional determination to the DEC regarding the Ferguson Lane extension wetlands. As previously reported, the 8 lots totaling 26 acres is limited for development because of wetland issues. New wetland regulations effective January 2026 reduced development to only 12 acres of the 26, but they also block the access road to the developable land because of the new buffer rules. So Bob Holmes, Dan Bruno, and Steve George have met with the DEC actually back in July to seek relief for the buffer so we could get to the developable land. The DEC has informally agreed the access road was grandfathered under prior wetland rules and will not be affected by the new rules. And now we're pursuing formal written concurrence of that, and then we're all set. Hopefully we'll get that within the next month. And the reason is Berkshire Hathaway Blake Realty has a local business person interested in purchasing the 26-acre Ferguson Lane extension lots to grow his established business. We have met with the potential buyer to answer due diligence questions. The potential buyer is drafting a site concept plan and engaging Kingsbury. Thus far, that's been going well. The potential buyer is waiting for the DEC wetland jurisdictional determination to then submit the IDA application to purchase the property. And that probably, with the DEC not always going as quickly as you'd like, that will probably be first quarter of 26. Third issue, Glens Falls Rotary. As we know, there's a 20-acre site in Airport Industrial Park Phase 2, heavily impacted by wetlands. But Glens Falls Rotary is looking at it as a potential tree farm site and a wildlife education center. Rotary leaders attended the Kingsbury Town Board meeting on October 21st and received favorable feedback. Now Rotary and myself are engaging the neighbors for informal feedback on this project concept before Rotary starts spending money on the opportunity. If everything goes well, we will sell that tract of land in 2026.
So
2026.
2026.
So we cut all the trees to cause the problem with the wetland, and now we're gonna go to plant some more. I love it.
And apparently,
Government and it's
apparently the
government.
wetland conditions there are perfect for hemlock trees and certain species. So, yeah, it's kind of weird how that all works.
You two guys.
All right, last one, Airport Industrial Park Phase 1, the southern lot. down, which we've seen a map before, we have another local business person who has expressed interest in purchasing the 14-acre lot that is also heavily impacted by wetlands. He is conducting due diligence and will likely submit an IDA application to purchase the property before year end. And the appraised value is only $2,600 because it was heavily impacted by wetlands. But if we're able to sell all 3 of these lots, we'll be out of the airport industrial park sometime in 2026.
Is the intended use of that last one you spoke about? The.
It's a neighboring property, and it could also be used for potential storage. So that's what Spurs is talking to Cancer about. There's no plans to build anything as far as I'm aware of. So it's sort of a perfect match, quite honestly.
Okay. And then on the Ferguson Lane, the 20 some odd acre parcel purchase. That would be an application to buy the land. You expect an application for IDA consent.
No, because I don't think they're gonna do enough. I mean, they might build a pavilion and have agricultural activity there, but it's nothing gonna go on.
No, the large lot.
Oh, the Ferguson, I'm sorry, the 26. I'm sorry,
26 acres.
The 26 acres. Yes, there is a possibility, because there is talk about 2 buildings. Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right, we went through, Chuck went through Canal Side, also went through the Airport Industrial Park. Tons of reading for, documents that you will see again probably at next, board meeting. If you play with AI, load them up to AI, have them do a podcast for you, and then you can fall asleep the next 2 weeks, learning more about these, documents. All right, I'm just giving options, you know.
Are you saying he's boring or what?
No,
Oh, the
you can use his voice too if he allows you.
Are legal documents. That's Kara's issue, not mine.
All right, moving on to ongoing business, 80K Tech equipment proposal, Chuck.
Okay, so.
Page 19 of your read.
In your board package, there's a proposal from ADK Techs for some hardware in the installation of hardware. This is part of the program that when we hired them, that they would do a full assessment. And if you see on page 3 of the proposal, when it says description of upgrades.
What page?
Page 21 of those, or description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Page 21.
Page 21.
Still no numbers, huh?
And it's the page that looks like this. Now, I'll just read it real quickly. I'm not gonna read the whole paragraph, but
This is really just our version of Chuck GPT, is there?
yeah, that's very quick. To ensure the reliability and security, long-term sustainability of your organization's technology and infrastructure, we recommend upgrading from the current home grade equipment. Home grade equipment, that's a little embarrassing, to a business class IT solution. So what we're really doing is investing in appropriate commercial equipment to ensure, particularly the security side, that we're all set. So this is anticipated when we hired them. They've done the assessment, and so now you have in front of you the proposal. The financial numbers go on to the end of their proposal. It is for hardware for a little less than $1,000, installation for $3,000. Shipping all rounds up to about $4,000, and then there is reoccurring rental for hardware at $92.50 per month. So we're seeking your approval so we can continue upgrading our systems to industry standards for a business of our size.
All right.
Any questions? Ally, anything to add?
With that, I will entertain a motion to accept the Adirondack Tech Solutions equipment proposal. Kevin, second. Kevin, any discussion?
So it's gonna be $1,100 about to begin with per year.
And
Maybe
you
go
can
more.
50 times, yeah.
But it's cheaper than buying.
But that's just the hardware, right?
That's-
We already pay them. It's their ongoing service.
Correct. We already pay them
Yeah.
for the ongoing service. But as a reminder, particularly with the CHPE pilots, we need to make sure our systems are secure. We're gonna have
Oh, yes.
a lot of cash rolling through our organization.
All right. With that, roll call vote there, please.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Jamie Sullivan. Yes. Nick Caimano.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Jim Nolan.
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
John Taslin.
Yes.
Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Ron Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. All right, is there any other ongoing business? Bring to this board. All right, moving on to new business, and we'll start with the FW Web Sales Tax Exemption Extension. Kara, please.
So they reached out and, would like, requesting an extension of their sales tax appointment. It currently expires the end of May. And so they're just asking for an extension through the end of July to be sure that they can wrap up all their purchasing and things like that. They think they'll be done by May, but just as a precaution. They've requested this extension. They said there's no increase in their.
So moved.
All right, but then I will entertain a motion accepting the resolution, taking action, extending the project completion date and authorization for sales tax exemption to FW Web Company as agent of the agency for the purpose of constructing and equipping the project facility. Brian, second. Jim? Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Jamie Sullivan.
Yes.
Nick Caimano.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Jim Nolan.
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
John Taslin.
Yes.
Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Ron Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. All right. Next item up to bring is a EFPR 2025 letter of engagement. Start with Ally on that one.
Yes, so EFPR, as you know, has been, our accountant to do our annual audit, and, they were originally approved for a three-year contract. Last year was their third year, and so we have asked them for a quote to extend one more year. And that quote is in the packet. It is an increase of $600 from the previous year, which has been, for the 3 years that we've had, they've incremented the $600, so it's not anything additional than what we're used to. And I'm just looking for approval to have them continue one more year.
With the understanding that next year, the process or the audit will be put out for bid again to whomever.
Checks and balances.
Yeah, so we can have a fair comparison and quote, but we felt it important. They were heavily involved and they will be adjusting their year-end numbers from accrual, our cash to accrual. And it's important that I think for the continuity of the organization.
So we will go out to bid in what month? I mean, it should be earlier than later,
Yeah,
because
next year you should go out,
if we're gonna have.
I thought you were going on.
Probably
I'm
like an
going.
August timeframe.
Oh, no,
No.
oh, no, I would just say start of the second quarter.
Yeah, you wanna be done by then, because
Okay.
what, if you hire somebody different, they need to be on board to figure out the year end, yeah. That's why I was
I'm
asking.
curious, where they started, where they finished.
Just a couple grand difference.
Change.
No,
Never is.
Smart.
And there's only a few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting,
It's
getting worse trying to
That
find.
do this
auditors
kind of
with it.
work, that's
Yeah.
what the
You're
problem is.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And you did get this to the audit finance committee to look at as well?
We did, we
Yeah.
talked about it, Jenny's, if we were copied on it.
I have a copy, but I just.
No, no, we got you, we understand.
Yeah, big things going on.
I'm waiting.
All right. With that, I will,
On the floor.
I will entertain a motion to accept the EFPR 2025 letter of engagement. Jenny, second. Brian. Here's a roll call, Ally, please.
Brian Campbell.
Yes.
Jamie Sullivan.
Yes.
Nick Caimano.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Jim Nolan.
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
John Taslin.
Yes.
Tim Robinson.
Yes,
Ron Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. All right. Just one item that is not on the agenda that I just, as we the nominating committee met earlier this month with the in part of the exec and the new slate of officers for 2026. Our recommendation to the counties, it was in that. So I just wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to see that. And we are waiting on one final commitment, and then we'll be submitting that entire slate to both counties at the end of this month with the anticipation of them pushing it through their committees as well as their full boards in December, which will allow the new members to be able to join us in January before the marathon annual meeting in February.
We're gonna see all that before they get it.
Yeah. So,
I think,
is there any questions
yeah,
Yes.
that usually gets presented at our organizational meeting
at the end in January?
in January, I think in January, because I think the new board has to put them on.
Right, and what I was asking the supervisors was to give us, to accept the new ones in December, and then you can do your annual resolution in January with them in there, because then I do want them one meeting, if we wait till January, then they're walking in fresh with, new meeting, 2 hours worth of every policy of the IDA that they should have reviewed, be effective in that meeting. I'm just
Right.
looking for a little bit of leeway. If we don't have it, we can get them the information early in
I
January.
think the new board has to vote on them, I believe, so.
Right. Well, right.
They can attend, but I just.
No, what I was saying, if you do committees and then accept the new members in December, then your January annual of all the members can have the new committee members' names in there as already as well.
It's a different board, is what its point is.
Right, it's not the
different
same board in
not the
December
same
that
board.
is in January, so
Well-
you can't do.
No,
The January board is all that can appoint, not the December board, so it won't make it.
if we have if
We can do it here, but I'm saying at the
Right.
county level, it will have to be the January board.
yes, but when Craig Leggett resigned, you guys pushed through the nomination in the middle of the year. It wasn't in your January.
Right. But because we have to do like the whole, don't we do like the whole board? I think it once in January,
Right,
that's,
Everybody gets.
of the annual, right.
right.
Annual
So-
research of members,
So,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
so if you wanna do them in December instead of doing them in June.
no, I want to do them in December, and then you guys can do the January with the new slate of officers as you would normally do them. Because if we get them approved in December, then they can join, because they won't be in time for the January meeting. Our January meeting's in the same week. So I'm just asking for possibly a little bit more work, one extra resolution from the county supervisors to give our new board members just a little bit of leeway and extra.
I understand it, I just don't want the boards to be upset that they think something's being pushed onto them, that's.
Okay.
Well, fortunately, all the candidates are great candidates.
No, well.
There'll be
we can-
controversy anyway.
We can create kind of.
Yes, you can. Yes,
So,
you can. Okay, well, that's my ask, and if you guys want to push it to January, absolutely, we will invite them unofficially to the January meeting. So,
I don't mind, whatever you wanna do,
Yeah.
do it, but I want you to be aware.
no, I understand, and I hope our administrators in
Yeah.
both counties can help us out here
Yeah.
too.
Forget.
All right. No, I fully understand, but I appreciate it, but I am making an ask that if we can get them in a little bit early. I myself was one of the ones that got in, and then that first annual meeting was quite overwhelming. And I see it on everybody else's faces that have to, jump in.
Oh, always,
Yeah,
yeah.
just trying to be a little bit more efficient, but I do understand the workload that it causes for, supervisors. Thank
I
you.
don't mind the workload, it's the chaos I'm not real fond of.
I'm a little fond of the chaos. All right, anybody else, anything else for new business coming to this board? All right, we'll turn it over to staff report, start with the CEO.
Okay, so I'm gonna report out what's transpired since October 21st to today. On October 22nd, some of you were at the Albany Business Review North Country Power Breakfast with panelist Keir Reamer from Weekend Inn Hotels. He's one of our applicants. Tucker Swingerland, obviously we all know Tucker from Hudson Headwaters Health Network, and Amanda McGee from Trampoline. Keir, I would say, for those that were there, he was particularly appreciative of both the EDC and the IDA and things that we've done for him up in North Creek. On October 27th, the Warren County EDC had its annual luncheon at the Carriage House. Greg Tahoon, the CEO and co-founder of Emerging Prairie of Fargo, North Dakota, who revitalized Fargo's approach to economic development and revitalized Fargo's approach to economic development, and later then found our area to be quite inspiring. He advocates a healthy ecosystem, of connected resources working together with shared passion. One example he cited for the emphasis on the importance of the art community for bringing people together. And then also at that seminar or at that luncheon, Jim Siplon announced the Freshwater Center concept with the LGA, the RPI, and the Jefferson Project. Then October 29th, met with Rotary. I mentioned it earlier, sorry. On November 5th, there was a meeting with the High Museum that Juan and I went to discuss development of the Warren Street corridor and local arts economy. More to come on that in the near future. Also on November 5th, there was the ARCC Business Expo at Queensbury Hotel. Then on November 7th, there is a Zoom meeting with NJIT representative who's under contract with the EPA for brownfield development. And so this resource can help us do what we try to do as we grow into brownfield development, and they don't cost a dime. The EPA pays for it. Very insightful, and I think this person will help us all through 2026. Then on November 10th, kind of the state of Washington County with ARCC, always very entertaining with panelists Brian Campbell, and Laura Oswald, Melissa Finch, and Bob Hankey. Actually, it was a very good seminar, given the difficulty the county's having this year with their budget. Anything to add on to that, Brian or Tricia?
I always find it refreshing to just have a common sense talk with the actual business community and where they're at, how things are going, and I think they're very receptive, appreciative of it, and in fact, some of the discussions afterwards are even better because they kind of understand the realization of where we're at and what we're up against. So
Yeah.
it was very good.
It was well attended too. There were a lot of people.
Than last year, but also I agree with you, right? The audience there, you're now getting your message out. A lot of people really don't know what happens internally, so at least sorry,
What meetings was?
it was the state of Washington County.
Oh, yeah.
And tomorrow morning there is. This-
It's tomorrow.
I think you're
Just wing it, just wing it.
You're on the panel, so you might want to show up.
Okay, I'll keep going. Thank you.
Oh, a shout out to All Fresh. Their food was fantastic.
Yeah, they did a good job.
I don't know who they are or where they are. I'm sorry.
And it's.
Yeah, there.
Their food was excellent.
They did a good job.
Okay, so continuing on, November 12th and 13th, Juan and I attended the New York State Economic Development Council Leadership and Policy Summit in Verona, New York. The agenda included New York State energy landscape, New York State economic blueprint, including competitive analysis and actions to allow our state to be more competitive. There was an International Economic Development Council representative there, talked about the perspectives from the international angle. There was also a session on IDA shaping local economies. There was a session on nuclear energy opportunities in New York State. And at the very end, there's Remington Arms Brownfield redevelopment. This is a site that's over 200 years old and has 1 million square feet of commercial property that they're looking to bring back to life. Obviously a long-term project, but as we look to do possible brownfield redevelopment, there'll be some interesting.
Remington, that's an Erkaware.
Yes, yes,
That
yeah,
was-
huge site.
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah. Yeah, so as we look to get in this territory, we'll learn from how they do what they're doing out there. And then on November 13th, up in Johnsburg, I attended the ORDA and Johnsburg Economic Development Outlook meeting with Jim Siplon, Ashley Walden, who's the ORDA CEO, Keir Weimer, who we talked about with Weekender Hotel. He graciously stepped into it because we had a seminar talking about ORDA public investment. Then we talk about private investment. And of course, Keir with Weekender Hotel in the Copperfield was a great representative. We also had a gentleman named Dave Kronheim. He's a real estate developer. His firm has $2 billion under asset, and they're looking to do a distillery in North Creek. So he was a good panelist. And then Kim Lasella from Rev Rail was there. So it was a very lively discussion about economic activity up in North Creek. With that, before I go into engagement or the engagements in the pipeline, any questions? Okay, as far as the engagements, we have 47 year to date, 17 in manufacturing and distribution, 5 in tourism and recreation, 2 in hotel and resort, 3 in food and beverage, 4 in mixed, 8 in housing, 2 in energy, 1 in medical, and 5 in other. Of those counts, we have 7 that were anticipated to be applicants in 2025. 5 of them have occurred. We have 7 that might be applicants in 2026. We have 3 that might be applicants in 2027. We have 19 that's unknown what they'll be doing. And we have 11 which will probably not be applicants for the IDA. As far as our pipeline list, we have 18 projects in the pipeline as of Friday. We have 4 in housing, 3 in hotel and resort, 5 in manufacturing distribution, and 5 in mixed use, and 1 in food and beverage. Of those, we have 2 applications being drafted. We have 6 that are possibly thinking of submitting their application. And then we have 10 who are just exploring the idea. And then we have over 10 who would decide one reason or another not to move forward with the application. With that, that's my report. Let's start any questions.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned North Creek. How is the former Copper Field Inn? Is that up and running? Where is that at?
In heavy renovation right now, according to Cure last week, they're looking to open in January. They don't think they can make Christmas, but if things work out in a better than expected way, they'll be open for Christmas week. Otherwise, it'll be January.
Okay, so
People are very eager because that brings a lot
Oh,
of traffic.
yeah, it's moving right along.
Yeah, it is.
No, I give North Creek a lot of.
They've been a little slow because they acquired a property in Saratoga and put the resources to get that property up and running, and now they've refocused this fall to North Creek.
So they never did stay open like they originally intended to, right?
Well, there was a delay with their closing.
Right.
Yeah, and then that got into the summer, but then they had the Saratoga market. So in the fall, they finally got going.
Hope they make it by Christmas. Be great.
Yeah,
It'd be nice.
the local
Christmas
economy
present.
would be very good.
Anything else for Chuck? I'll just add that that leadership and policy summit that we went to, they have quite a few breakout sessions, so both Chuck and I attending allows us to divide and conquer. But I've always said that these types of summits and conferences allow us to talk with experts around New York State and pick their brains. And as we move into brownfields, which was already been budgeted for this IDA, did get a chance to talk with the Herkimer County IDA CEO, who might be the leading expert in brownfields in all of New York State, which is they host their annual brownfield summit annually, as well as consultants who have been dealing with brownfield sites throughout New York State for a very long time. And after discussions with them, very confident about our progress and our pathway ahead, and to charge into this, what we know is going to be a marathon session of trying to get brownfield sites up and operational in Warren, Washington County. I am confident that we can find the right partners to do this and excel in this type of environment and get into brownfields.
And we do have some experience with that here. It's where Market 32 is here at Fort Edward.
Yes.
We had a real good outcome and how that all worked. Fort Edward took it on, and we had to deal with them, with the county, because, with it being a brownfield, nobody wanted it. And that's turned into just a huge thing for the immediate area.
Wasn't that an IDA project also? The backside of that alley, was that?
It may have been,
Yeah,
it may have been.
yeah, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah, it started with working through the county and Fort Edward, but then I think it did end up with the IDA.
Yeah.
We'll definitely stay in step with our economic development partners in both counties as well, because we know that they're also venturing in. But the more eyes we see, if we get on brownfields, and the more money that different entities can put into these brownfields, we can get them operational.
There'll be opportunities to have more education in that field. You're talking, you two went out. You have other people. Dan,
Yeah, that would be a great idea, that as we start assembling a team of resources that can help us, have them come to a board meeting and talk about that landscape and how they navigate it. Every project's typically different. The nature of the business that was on site, the nature of the contamination, the nature of the cleanup, the nature of the potential use of the property. So it would be very interesting to have these experts come and talk about what they've done, including like Remington. And what's happening there. So I think we're not quite there yet, but as we think about the resources that can help us, well, we can certainly arrange that.
I'm not particularly concerned about the actual cleanup section. I'm thinking about stages that we would, as a group, have to go through. And the education we would need to accomplish those things intelligently.
Right.
Is that something that that's what that thing is where you went to?
Right, well, no, that's a great one, and the Brownfield Summit that we haven't been to, that we'll start attending as we build this team, you're right, because then you've got, so the strategy in my head is, okay, we've got to hire the consultants to be able to take us through identifying, assessing, and then remediation. And before any of those steps actually happen, we have to bring somebody in to educate our board on the
Permits,
assessment.
attorneys.
Yes.
Yep.
So I think the consultants that we do end up partnering with will be the ones that coming into this board meeting regularly to continue to educate this board because at some point, what happens normally is, okay, somebody has to fund the consultants who go out and grab the grants. And in that way, those grants happen and get executed onto the site. Challenges, if some of these grants are delayed, you need an entity that can fund some of these to keep these moving, and which are the priorities, what should we fund with our own money while we're waiting for grants, and what should we not fund because you're still 10 to 20 years out, regardless if you start a year early. That type of education as we get in really going to be key is to get these consultants in front of this board to educate this board.
The idea of us putting money up, scary part.
Yes.
To talk about the levels that can appear the next day.
Correct.
Protesters show up at the gate.
Yes.
Those are the things that gotta make people aware. And then again, if we have steps we can follow, if there's somebody who can diagram those for me.
Well, and right now, the seed money we put in 2026 budget was not to go actually do brownfield development
No, I know.
or design the program, and that can
I
be part
guess
of the
if we're
program.
working towards
Right.
learning how. I'm trying to first learning how to do it. I think Dan. Better now.
You certainly don't want to be in the chain of liability.
Well, you don't, and one of the
Yeah.
important things is to make sure you have legal counsel that practices in this area, because it is a little bit of a specialized area. And then one of the consultants we met actually lives in Queensbury, and he's been very, very forthcoming and wanting to help or help. So we'll part of the program will be an education component for the board.
And I would think our engineer that's on this board could actually put in layman's terms what they're saying.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, you get some real specialists in here also on the engineering side, people who understand how to deal with contaminated sites. And then there's firms out there that evaluate the level of contamination. If it goes into your water table, you have a really bad situation. If it doesn't go in your water table, you're usually in a much better situation. So again, every project, and I think
Every brownfield is a bad situation. It's at one level.
well, there are exactly at
Yeah.
what level, yeah.
But we'll keep education on the forefront for the board.
We'll be careful, don't worry. We're all in this together.
This is an old area, industrial. And there's the road from the top and also. I went through the. It's a scary thing. It's all of a sudden you're an idiot.
Well, a lot of times, if you can't completely understand your site, then that's a project not to get involved in. Obviously, you need to understand all of the issues with the site and the risks associated with them. And part of the situation is doing an inventory of the sites and then picking your sites to do further analysis. And those would be the kind of things that we'll be bringing to the board eventually, but it's still at least a half a year away.
Well, the scary part is where you went, is that this is the basic form of that is what put out every mom and pop gas station and convenience store in the whole North Country.
Yeah.
This is just bigger and broader.
And generation.
Yes,
My problem with standard oil. Not standard oil of any area. Original standard oil.
yeah.
Tank they found was rivet. It's not well. It hasn't, they haven't had riveted tanks since 1890. And that was part of my problem.
Yep.
And DEC jumped over.
It can. But you gotta put out every mom and pop gas station and convenience store throughout the North Country.
Yeah, if you don't mind me saying, one thing we want to do are the bigger sites.
Yes,
There
no,
are,
I get it,
there are a lot.
but that was like the microcosm of what we're looking at.
Yeah,
It put all them out, well, one big one can put the whole region out.
right.
Cost.
Yeah, it goes to the water table.
Gotta be
then we got a
careful,
bad
yeah.
Situation. So, we have a long ways to go. We're just starting the journey.
But it is a mission worthy of
Yes,
It's mission worthy, getting back some of these sites into production.
Part of the same thing was the education.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to get to. So the DEC didn't have the education. So they were the ones pressing forward to essentially would close that business. And one of their members, kind of a rogue member, came to my rescue. They didn't know the wrong answers. They came in both concepts.
How long ago was that?
It's 30 years.
Okay.
No, this was not something that was, they did it.
Right.
And then again, you said it's, I guess. Yeah, still I do.
Great. Anything else on any of those topics? All right, thank you, Chuck. Moving on to Ally, Administrator, your update.
I only have a couple things, to update everybody on the school taxes. We still only have one that has not paid. Very much preservation, and I did reach out to Mr. Bear, my contact there, today to remind him that it is due at the end of this month. If he doesn't want any more days. So he still has time, but. And also wanted to update everyone on the ABO transparency regulations. I know we still have one more month left of this year, but we are in compliance with the at least one committee meeting of audit finance, nominating, and governance committee for 2025. And I have also updated the website. There were a few ABO reports that were not on the website. They're now on there. It was for the year 2024. And as I continue to go through the checklist, I will update the board as appropriately. That's all I know.
Anybody have anything for Ally? Right, moving on. Any public comments? Nicole, you got anything for us?
No, sorry.
Checking. You passed the loyalty test to make sure you're still on.
Yes, I'm still here. I'm hearing everything and trying to take notes and learn because I find this very interesting. So it's been very interesting to just sit here and watch you guys.
Well, thank you for being here.
All right, thank you so much. With that, we'll have Kara lead us into executive session.
The purpose of the executive session is to discuss the sale of real property that discussed publicly could impact the value.
And we will not be making any decisions coming out of executive session, so we will adjourn right after. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session. Jim?
should we first say goodbye to Nicole, because I think she has to leave.
All right, Nicole, enjoy that warm weather in Florida. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, thank you.
Second, Nick, all in favor?
Bye.
I'm sorry, that was Jim and Nick.
Jim and Nick.
Okay.